Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the unified heavyweight championship of the world? You got Alexander Usyk defending all his belts against Anthony Joshua in the rematch we've all been waiting for. Who will prevail? Do you know? I think I know. Gonna give you a little breakdown on what I think. Very intriguing fight. Rematches always are. In the first fight, let's be honest, everyone thought Anthony Joshua was going to walk through Usyk. You know, there's a lot of boxing heads out there that really understand boxing and knew that this wasn't going to be an easy task for Anthony Joshua. We all know, yes, he's the poster boy. He's got the body and all this stuff. So 80% of his fans, they look at that and they automatically think Anthony Joshua's going to win. You know, they don't look at his boxing, they're looking at the poster boy. So he can't do anything wrong in their eyes. But then you've got the 20% of people that understand boxing, and when he's up against someone that can really do damage, they understand, you know, who he's up against, and it's going to be a tall order. So the last fight, a lot of people, I had people not really knowing who Usyk was. He's a former undefeated, well, he's still undefeated, but former undefeated and undisputed cruiserweight world champion. We all know his high level of boxing ability, the IQ and what he brings to the table. We all know what he done to Tony Bellew as a cruiserweight. And now he's come up, he's got accustomed to the division by fighting people like Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora, people, the jury was out on Usyk because Derek Chisora gave him a tough time. I wouldn't say he gave him a tough time, Derek Chisora is a very hard customer. We know on his day, he can give anyone a hard fight. It doesn't matter who you are. Derek Chisora is that type of fighter that on his day, he'll give anyone's a hard night's work. And then he fought Anthony Joshua. It was funny to see because after, I think halfway through the fight, the whole stadium was quiet. And I think the fans that are there to see Anthony Joshua, the poster boy, realized, wow, what a great fighter Usyk is. The reason why Usyk is so difficult to fight is because of that engine. That's the first thing. For someone that's such a big guy, he's got a very high work rate. And along with that work rate, he's showing different looks. He's showing head movement. He's showing feints. He's showing level changes. He's moving his feet to the left. He's moving his feet to the right. When you got someone doing that constantly with the engine that Usyk has for 12 rounds and his tempo doesn't drop, then that is mentally draining for the opponent. And that's what you saw in the first fight. Anthony Joshua obviously tried to match him with boxing IQ. Now, I'm not saying Anthony Joshua don't have any boxing IQ, because he does, but he doesn't have it to the level as Usyk has it. So when you combine everything that I just told you, and combine with the fact that Usyk's level of boxing IQ is much higher than Anthony Joshua's, and then that's why you saw Anthony Joshua deteriorating in that fight. He got hurt, I think twice in that fight, one in the middle of the fight. And then you could argue that if there was an extra round, then Usyk would have stopped Anthony Joshua. We all know that Anthony Joshua has a lot of muscle mass. Obviously, it's come down a lot when he got beat and put down a few times and beat, very badly against Andy Ruiz. I think he changed. He had to make some changes. One of them was the muscle mass. It had to come down a bit. So, but even though it's come down, he's still a big guy. He can't help it. He's naturally big guy. So he's always going to have that muscle mass. And that's the problem fighting someone like Usyk, based on what I'm saying. Because for a big guy like that, to keep your hands up like that for 12 rounds is very difficult to do. So in the rematch, it's a very tall order again. This is what I think. I think he needs to go back to, and the reason why I bring this fight up because he showed a lot in this fight against Vladimir Klitschko. Now Vladimir Klitschko, he rewound back the clock, 41 years of age, and he was dancing around like he was 25. So it's a very hard fight for Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua got dropped in that fight. But he showed a lot in that fight. He showed grit, he showed determination, he showed heart, that he could get up from a shot. And he showed that when he wants to go to war, he can go to war and dog it out. And it doesn't matter what his opponent's doing. In this case, Vladimir Klitschko, he didn't care what Vladimir Klitschko was bringing. He was willing to go through anything to win that fight. And that's what he's got to do against Alexander Usyk. He's going to have to go through all the things that I just said. Not let that get in his head and mess with his game plan. He needs what he done against Vladimir Klitschko mixed with what he was trying to do against Usyk, because I'm not saying he needs to take away his boxing ability and just go in there trying to knock out Alexander Usyk, because if he goes in there trying to knock out Alexander Usyk, he can get knocked out himself. So he has to be very careful the way he goes about doing things. He has to be very calculated. We all know Anthony Joshua, he gasses a little bit. It's got better over time, but he gasses a little bit. I don't know if it's down to, the muscle mass, as I said, keeping those hands up. But as I said, fighting someone like Usyk is mentally draining when you've got someone in front of you just constantly showing different levels, feinting, moving his head side to side with his hands up. Then he's circling around to the right, then he's circling around to the left. It's very, very draining mentally. Forget the physical part. So Anthony Joshua's going to have to live with that, and he's going to have to be very, very calculated. Everyone's saying Anthony Joshua has to go in there, he has to make it a fight, he has to rough him up, he has to dog him out. Yes, I believe that too. But there's a way to do it and not to do it. He's got to be intelligent. So I hope Robert Garcia is working on that intelligence, to be aggressive. Intelligent behind that aggression. That's all I'm saying. Usyk looks like he's put on a lot of muscle as well, which tells me this fight is not going to go 12 rounds. There's a recent video of him. He's just about to play tennis with his team, and he's looking big, man, and he's looking evil, man. Usyk looks scary. Usyk looks scary. I won't want to fight Usyk, man. He looks scary. And the fact that he's come together with, the Saudis to pay for the whole pay-per-view in the whole of Ukraine, so people can watch it for free, that tells me a lot. Now, I know it's all about the fighting, but when you got a man that's been fighting in war with his country, he's left the war's still ongoing, by the way, but he's left that war because they've given the blessing to go and do his training camp to fight Anthony Joshua in a rematch. So to leave that and come into training camp while that is still going on, and to make it free. I mean, like, for example, if I'm going to watch it, I have to pay, £26.99. That's a lot of money to watch a boxing fight on TV. You know what I mean? But he's made it free for the whole of Ukraine. That's telling me a lot, man. That's telling me that he's coming to not mess around. He's coming for war. So Anthony Joshua's going to have to be very careful the way he does things. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going to lay it all on the line and say Usyk by stoppage. I would love it if Anthony Joshua wins. And for the people as well, I get people, when I talk about bloody Anthony Joshua, they expect me to be on his side because he's British. Oh, how can you go against Anthony Joshua? He's one of our own. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? care if someone's British. I don't care if someone's bloody Romanian, Somalian, Nigerian, Albanian. If I like the fighter, then I like the fight. I like who I like, you know what I mean? And I like Anthony Joshua. That's not what I'm saying. I just like Usyk better. You know what I mean? As in his fighting ability wise. I give it to you real. When I do breakdowns, I'm not giving a breakdown because he's my favourite fighter. You know what I mean? And I'm only going to say good things about that fighter. Anthony Joshua is a very good fighter. Look what he's achieved in his career. He's achieved a lot in his career. Won multiple world champions. You know, he got badly beat, came back and got his belts back. You know what I mean? He's got beat again against Usyk, but now he's going back to try and get his belts back. And that just shows me what kind of character that he has, that he can keep coming back like that, you know? So he's achieved a lot. He's done a lot for British boxing. He's the face for British boxing. So we all want him to do well. But if I'm talking from a pure boxing point of view, I just think this time round, this is a more dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua than the first one. I think now Usyk's got a taste of Anthony Joshua. He knows what he's about. And Usyk's not stupid. Usyk and his team are not stupid. These are some of the most high-level coaches that are behind Usyk, training a high-level athlete in Usyk. Do you think they're sitting back and not thinking Anthony Joshua's going to try come forward, rough him up, try and throw bombs and knock him out? They're going to be ready for everything, trust me. And this is why it's a more dangerous fight the second time round. And when you add all the stuff that I was talking about the war and everything like that, I just think he's just going to have... He's going to have blood on his mind and he's going to have ice in his veins, man, trust me. So I'm going Usyk stoppage. I can't see this fight going 12 rounds. Whether Joshua wins or Usyk wins, it's not going 12 rounds. That's what I believe. My prediction is Usyk. What is your guys' predictions? Comment below. Let me know. I love debates. Everyone's entitled to opinion. Peace.